What is lost can be found. Copyright June 25, 2025. Chapter 1. When something is lost but it can be found again. Have you ever lost something or someone and didn't find it like a year or two later? I have. It wasn't just a key or an old photo, no, this was someone. Her name was Mariah. And when she left, it was like the sun forgot how to shine in my world. We met in the fall, the leaves the color of rusted fire, and the air thick with the scent of change. Mariah wore stars like armor and laughed like the wind was playing with her voice. We were only 17, but the way we spoke to each other made it feel like we had known each other through lifetimes. Then one night without a word she vanished. No note. No text. No warning. One day she was sitting next to me on the swings behind the old schoolyard, sharing a pack of ore candy, and the next, nothing. I checked every place she left: the thrift store on Main, the diner with the jukebox, the trails behind the lake. I even knocked on her grandma's door 3 towns over. But Mariah was gone like a dream the moment you wake up. And I was left chasing shadows. A year passed. Then another. People said, let it go, like hearts come with off switches. I tried. I did. But part of me always held on to the fragile hope that one day I'd round a corner, or take a wrong turn, and there she'd be, standing like a ghost turned real. And then, last week, I got a letter. No return address. Just my name. And her handwriting. It read, meet me where we carved our names into the bench by the lake. Midnight. Come alone. And just like that, I was 17 again, heart pounding like a drum in a thunderstorm. Tonight is the night. And whether this ends in answers or more heartbreak, I'll be there. The moon was a pale coin hanging in the sky as I walked the path to the lake, the air cool and filled with the buzz of summer insects. Each step felt heavier than the last, like my legs knew something my heart refused to believe, that this could all be nothing. A cruel joke. A mistake. But there it was. The bench. Still worn. Still cracked. Still bearing our names, carved so deep it looked like they were trying to bleed through the wood. Mariah plus J. I ran my fingers over the letters like a blind man reading a lost part of himself. The trees around the lake barely moved, hushed like they were holding their breath too. Then footsteps. Soft. Careful. Real. I turned slowly. She stood in the shadows, hood up, hands in her jacket. But I knew from the shape of her shoulders. The way she shifted her weight, just slightly to the left like always. The way her silence filled the space the same way her presence used to. Mariah? My voice cracked on the edge of her name. She stepped into the moonlight. Same eyes. Same storm inside them. But older. Haunted. Hi, Jay, she said softly. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Everything I wanted to say twisted into knots in my chest. I didn't know if you'd come, she added, her voice breaking. I never stopped looking for you. Her lips trembled, like she was about to cry but didn't. She stepped closer, close enough I could see the faint scar on her chin. The one from when we tried to build a treehouse and she fell off the second rung. I had to go, she said. And I couldn't tell anyone why. Not even you. Tell me now, I whispered. She looked away for a long moment, then back at me. They were looking for me. And if I had stayed, they would have found you too. They were looking for me, she said again, slower this time, like the words still hurt to say. And if I had stayed they would have used you to get to me. I stared at her, my voice caught somewhere between disbelief and dread. Who, Mariah? Who was looking for you? She didn't answer right away. Her eyes flicked to the trees behind me, scanning. Listening. Like the forest might whisper names back. I'll tell you, she said at last, but not here. Why not? Because if they're still out there, she stepped back, pulling the hood tighter around her face, they'll be watching this place. A chill moved through me like a warning. You still don't get it, Jay. I didn't just disappear. I was taken. At first, I froze. Taken? She nodded. I escaped barely. But I couldn't go home. Couldn't call anyone. Everything was being tracked: phones, accounts, even letters. I had to go underground. I had to become someone else just to stay alive. I sat on the bench, not because I wanted to, but because my knees were shaking. Why now? I asked. Why come back now? She sat down beside me, just like old times. But nothing was the same. Because I've learned something. About what they want. About why they took me. And why they're going to come back. I looked at her, and she was staring at the water like it might tell her what to do. They're not done, Jay. And this time they're going after more than just me. We sat in silence, the lake still and waiting. Then she reached into her jacket pocket and handed me something wrapped in cloth. What is it? Proof, she whispered. But you can't open it here. Where, then? She met my eyes. Follow the train tracks north. At dawn. You'll find a red shack. I'll meet you there. And I'll tell you everything. Before I could speak, she stood and slipped into the shadows again. Gone. Again. But this time, she left me something. And this time I wasn't letting go. Chapter 2, The Red Shack. Dawn cracked open the sky like a secret spilling light. Pink and pale orange bruised the horizon as I walked along the old train tracks, the cloth-wrapped bundle Mariah gave me tied in my jacket pocket. I hadn't slept. How could I? I kept replaying her voice, her eyes, her sudden vanishing again. Every step on the gravel felt louder than it should have, like even the ground was listening. The tracks hadn't been used in years. Rust had claimed most of the rails. Grass had pushed through the wood planks like nature was trying to bury the past. Then I saw it. The red shack. It leaned slightly, like it had been waiting for someone to notice it was still standing. One broken window. One crooked door. One story tall, but it might as well have been a mountain, the way my chest tightened just looking at it. I walked up slowly. Knocked once. Nothing. I pushed the door open, and the old hinges groaned like a warning. Inside, it smelled like old wood and dust. A single table sat under a small window. A chair. A folded blanket in the corner. And there on the table was a burner phone, and a note. Turn it on. I'm close. I picked up the phone. No lock screen. No ID. Just a blinking message. Unknown, they found me. Stay inside. Don't move. My breath caught. Another message. Unknown, look under the floorboards. Hurry. I dropped to my knees and began peeling back the rotted wood near the table. Dust exploded up. Then I saw it, an old canvas bag. Inside, a pistol. A flashlight. And a small metal box with a thumbprint scanner. What the hell was this? The phone buzzed again. Unknown, if they come in before I get there, run. Don't fight. Are you in? I backed away from the floor, pistol shaking in my hand. Something crashed outside. A thud. Then silence. My pulse thundered. Another message. Unknown, too late. Hide. Now. I dove into the shadows behind the blanket stack, heart beating so loud I thought it might give me away. The door creaked open. Two shadows entered. Not Mariah. Men. Tall. Black boots. One of them had a radio. She said this place, one muttered. The red shack. Scan it. Don't leave anything. They moved fast. Like they'd done this before. I held my breath. Then another sound. A crack. A scream. Then gunfire. Just outside. The two men spun toward the door. Then a voice, Jay, move. Mariah. And this time, she wasn't running away. She was fighting back. Jay, move. The doorway exploded with motion, Mariah bursting through the frame, her hoodie on, face streaked with dirt and sweat, one hand clutching a smoking pistol. She fired once, twice. The first man collapsed. The second dove behind the table. I scrambled from my hiding spot, the pistol in my hand shaking like a live wire. Mariah didn't wait. She lunged forward, driving her boot straight into the table, flipping it sideways into the second man's ribs. He coughed, stunned. She grabbed my arm. "We have 10 seconds. Come on." We burst through the back door, barely a door at all, more like rotting planks nailed together. It shattered as we crashed through, spilling us out into waist-high weeds and cold morning light. Gunfire cracked behind us. Dirt kicked up by our feet. I ran harder than I ever had in my life. "Where are we going?" I shouted. She yanked me left, through thick trees, to a place they can't follow. We slid down a ravine, muddy and wild. The trees opened into a hollow filled with rusted-out trucks and the skeleton of an old hunting shed. She ducked into the wreckage, pulling me down beside her. Both of us gasped for air. I could smell the fear on both of us: sweat, dirt, old metal. I looked at her. "You just killed someone." She stared at me. "If I didn't, they'd have taken you." I couldn't argue with that. But I wasn't ready for how easy she'd made it look. She reached into her jacket and pulled out the small metal box from my pocket, the one I'd found under the shack. "I need your help to open this," she said. "You're the key." "What do you mean?" She looked me straight in the eye, deadly serious. "Jay, they didn't just take me. They used me. For something. For a program. And you were part of it too. You just don't remember." I froze. "That's insane." "No. It's real. They erased you. Just like they tried to erase me. But I got pieces back. And I think this," she held up the box, "is the part that proves it." I stared at her, the girl I'd loved, the girl who vanished, now a ghost with a gun and secrets I didn't understand. "Place your thumb here," she said. I did. The scanner flashed green. The box clicked open. Inside was a photo. 2 kids. Her and me. Hooked up to wires. Sleeping. Behind us, rows of others. All unconscious. All connected. My knees gave out. What is this?" she whispered, voice barely holding together. "It's what we were before we were stolen." I stared at the photo like it might change if I blinked hard enough. But it didn't. Mariah and I, younger. Wires taped to our heads, IV lines in our arms. We looked peaceful. Too peaceful. Like we'd been drugged. And behind us dozens more. All ages. All unconscious. All marked. What is this?" I whispered again, but softer this time. Like I didn't want the trees to hear. Mariah looked at the photo like it was poison. "It's the only image I could get out before I ran," she said. "They deleted the rest." "Where was this taken?" She swallowed hard. "Somewhere underground." I woke up strapped down. Couldn't move, couldn't scream. "They called it the nest." "Who are they?" My voice shook. She looked at me. "They wear no uniforms. No flags. They're not government. Not military. They're something in between. A breakaway group. They believe in control. Through memory. Through identity." I shook my head. "This doesn't make any sense." I know. It didn't to me either. Until I started remembering. Remembering what? She pulled her sleeve up. Her forearm bore a faint scar, curved and circular. I felt sick. We were part of something. Not volunteers, subjects. They pulled kids off the grid. Runaways. Kids no one would miss. Only they messed up. She pointed at the photo. "You weren't supposed to be there." I blinked. "What do you mean?" "You weren't on their list. You followed me. Found me the night they took me. And they took you too. Just to cover it up." The world spun sideways. She leaned in. "You ever wonder why there's a whole year of your life that feels foggy? Like it happened to someone else?" I tried to answer. I couldn't. "It wasn't just trauma," she whispered. "They scrubbed you." I wanted to scream. Or run. But all I did was whisper, "Why me?" Mariah's voice broke again. "Because you wouldn't let go of me." A silence fell between us then, heavy and alive. Not even the birds dared speak. "We can't stay here," she finally said. "They'll keep coming." "Where do we go?" She looked north. "To the city. There's someone there, an insider. A scientist who defected. He says he can help us get the rest of our memories back." "And what then?" Mariah met my eyes, steel in her voice now. "Then we burn the nest to the ground." Chapter 3, The City of Echoes. We left the woods just after nightfall. Mariah moved like she had a map in her bones, ducking under broken fences, weaving through dry creek beds, always listening. I followed close, the pistol tucked into my jacket and the metal box zip-tied in my backpack. Neither of us spoke much. Words felt dangerous now. Heavy things with consequences. By the time the city lights shimmered on the horizon, my legs were burning and my thoughts were worse. That photo. The wires. Me. If what she said was true, if I had really been taken, wiped, and dumped back into my life like nothing happened, then who was I? Who had I been before the erasing? We hit the outer streets of the city before midnight. The skyline here wasn't tall or flashy. This was a forgotten place. Empty warehouses, busted street lights, graffiti that looked more like warnings than art. "This way," Mariah said, turning down the narrow alley. A flickering neon sign buzzed above an old pawn shop, "Carl Steele's Cash for Secrets." "Seriously?" I whispered. She smirked. "It's a front." We slipped around back, where she tapped on a rusted steel door in a strange rhythm. 3 knocks, pause, 2 knocks, long pause, 1 more. A small slot slid open. A voice gravelly and suspicious muttered, "Password?" Mariah leaned in. "Echoes return home." The slot closed. A second later, the door creaked open, revealing a man with silver hair and a face that looked carved from sleep deprivation and regret. One eye was pale artificial. The other burned like a fuse. "You brought him," the man said. "He remembers pieces," Mariah replied. "I told you not to involve him." "He was already involved." He sighed. "Then come inside. Quickly." The room beyond was a bunker dressed in junk. Old tech lined the walls, monitors stacked in towers, wires dangling like vines. Maps. Documents. A photo of Mariah as a child, tacked to a corkboard. Another of me. He gestured toward a metal chair. "Sit." I did. He pulled a small scanner from the table and held it over my temple. A quiet beep. Then another. Then a click. And a monitor lit up. My face. Dozens of lines of code beside it. "Subject 17, the man muttered. "Wiped. Fragmented. But the root is still there. Can you fix it?" Mariah asked, stepping closer. He didn't answer right away. "Then maybe." He turned to me. "But you need to understand something, kid. What's buried in there isn't just memory. It's programming. Protocols. Locks. Triggers. If I unlock the wrong thing, you could lose yourself all over again." I swallowed hard. Mariah touched my hand. "You don't have to do it," she said. But I looked at her. Really looked. And I knew I'd already made the choice the night I followed her to the lake. "I want the truth," I said. "Even if it burns." The man nodded. "Then hold still." He flicked a switch. The lights dimmed. And the past came screaming back. The lights dimmed. The hum of the scanner deepened into something darker, like it was digging beneath skin and bone. A shiver ran down my spine. Then flash. A hallway. White, endless. My bare feet on tile. A cold voice on an intercom, "Subject 17 is in transit." Repeat, 17 is mobile. Flash. Mariah. Younger. Strapped down. Eyes darting. A man in a white coat whispering, "Too much empathy in this one. Might be useful. Might be dangerous." Flash. Darkness. But not real darkness, fabric over my face. Being dragged. My mouth gagged. Screaming through it anyway. Flash. A small room. Blue light. An IV in my arm. A machine with a pulse louder than my own heart. Someone saying my name like it wasn't mine anymore. I gasped, jerking in the chair. The metal dug into my back. My fists clenched. Let it happen, the man murmured. You're safe. You're here. But I wasn't here. I was there. And the next memory broke like a tidal wave. I'm in a glass chamber. The walls sweat. Outside, a group of men in black uniforms argue. One of them points to me. Then points to Mariah, restrained across the room. Pairing failed. The boy's mind resisted the implant. Then erase him. Dump him. Start over. Wait. He's stabilizing. Then everything turned white.